The observation deck of the Earth diplomatic vessel Aurora fell silent as Captain Alina Reyes studied the massive structure looming before them. The Zentari Confederation's central hub, a colossal wheel of gleaming metal and pulsing energy fields, rotated majestically against the backdrop of a blue-green nebula. "It's more impressive than the simulation suggested," remarked Security Chief Marcus Chen, his hand instinctively checking his sidearm for the fourth time since they'd entered the system. "And more intimidating," Elena admitted. The reception committee awaiting them consisted of representatives from 12 founding species of the Zentari Confederation. Most appeared welcoming, with gestures their xenolinguists had interpreted as signs of respect, all except for the Drakari delegate, Supreme Commander Vexnar, who stood rigidly apart from the others. The first meeting proceeded with formal introductions. The Confederation Overseer, a tall, willowy being named Thalara, explained the protocols for developing species integration, a designation that clearly ranked humans below most established members. When Alina presented Earth's technological achievements and cultural history, most council members expressed polite interest. When Vexnar finally spoke, his translator conveyed unmistakable condescension. "Impressive for creatures who only discovered fusion energy a century ago. Perhaps in another millennium, you might contribute something of actual value to interstellar society." Elena maintained her composure. "We look forward to proving our worth through peaceful cooperation and exchange." As the Earth delegation departed the chamber, Marcus whispered, "They see us as children." "Most do," Elena corrected. "The Drakari see us as insects." The human delegation moved through the vast halls of the Confederation Station, trying not to stare at the diverse alien forms that passed them. Some floated on anti-gravity platforms, others walked on multiple limbs or moved in ways that seemed to defy physics. Elena had spent 20 years in diplomatic service. She had negotiated treaties during Earth's resource wars and helped establish peace between rival nations, but nothing had prepared her for this, representing all of humanity to beings whose civilizations were thousands of years more advanced. Back on their ship, the delegation gathered in the conference room. The mood was tense. "They're testing us," said Dr. Sophia Okafor, chief xenobiologist. She pulled up holographic displays showing biometric data from their sensors. The Drakari delegates' physiological readings spiked significantly when addressing us. "They're measuring our responses." Marcus nodded. "I counted 16 security drones in that chamber, not all visible to the untrained eye." "Elena, this isn't just diplomacy, it's survival." Elena turned to their xenopsychologist, Dr. Raj Patel. "What's your assessment?" Raj removed his glasses thoughtfully. "The Confederation appears to operate on a merit system based on technological advancement and resource control, but there are clear power blocks. The Drakari aren't universally respected, but they're feared." "And humans?" asked Elena. "We're curiosities. Some see potential in us, others see a threat. The Drakari clearly fall into the latter category." Their discussion was interrupted as the ship's communications officer entered. "Captain, we've received a formal invitation for a private meeting with several Confederation members, without the Drakari." The meeting took place in what appeared to be a botanical garden, though none of the plants resembled anything from Earth. The air smelled of cinnamon and ozone. 3 Confederation representatives waited. A Lyrian with iridescent skin that shifted colors as they spoke, a Vostran whose multiple arms moved in precise, deliberate patterns, and an Ithrali whose crystalline body structure refracted light in hypnotic patterns. "Captain Reyes," the Lyrian named Selmora began, "we wish to speak candidly. Your species shows remarkable adaptive qualities." The Vostran, Cartel, gestured with her upper arms. "We have observed your historical record. Humans advance rapidly through conflict. This concerns some Confederation members, particularly the Drakari. They dominate through military might and are suspicious of potential rivals," added the Ithrali, Sen. Elena chose her words carefully. Humanity has indeed learned harsh lessons through conflict, but we have also learned to value peace. We seek knowledge and cooperation, not dominance. Selmora's skin flashed blue. Noble sentiments. But the Drakari do not understand such concepts. They respect only strength. Are you suggesting we should demonstrate strength? Elena asked. We are suggesting caution, said Cartelephone. The Drakari test all new species. Those they deem weak become targets. Back on the Aurora, Elena shared this warning with her team. The implications were troubling. The meeting took place in what appeared to be a botanical garden, though none of the plants resembled anything from Earth. The air smelled of cinnamon and ozone. 3 Confederation representatives waited. A Lyrian with iridescent skin that shifted colors as they spoke, a Vostran whose multiple arms moved in precise, deliberate patterns, and an Ithrali whose crystalline body structure refracted light in hypnotic patterns. Captain Reyes, the Lyrian named Selmora, began. We wish to speak candidly. Your species shows remarkable adaptive qualities. The Vostran, Cartel, gestured with her upper arms. We have observed your historical record. Humans advance rapidly through conflict. This concerns some Confederation members, particularly the Drakari. They dominate through military might and are suspicious of potential rivals. Added the Ithrali, Sen. Elena chose her words carefully. Humanity has indeed learned harsh lessons through conflict, but we have also learned to value peace. We seek knowledge and cooperation, not dominance. Selmora's skin flashed blue. Noble sentiments, but the Drakari do not understand such concepts. They respect only strength. Are you suggesting we should demonstrate strength? Elena asked. We are suggesting caution, said Cartelephone. The Drakari test all new species. Those they deem weak become targets. Back on the Aurora, Elena shared this warning with her team. The implications were troubling. So we're supposed to be strong but not threatening, Marcus frowned. How exactly do we manage that? Raj tapped his data pad thoughtfully. Every species has blind spots. The Drakari evolved from apex predators. They understand dominance hierarchies, but may miss subtler forms of strength, like resilience. Humans survived multiple extinction-level events, Sophia suggested. We persist. Their discussion was cut short by an alert. A small Drakari vessel had approached one of their automated research probes near Saturn and was scanning it intensively. So it begins, Elena said quietly. Their first test. Over the next 3 months, the human delegation participated in Confederation orientations while monitoring increasing Drakari interest in their solar system. Small provocations, scan intrusions, communication interference, brief incursions, all carefully stayed just below the threshold of official complaints. On their final day at Confederation headquarters, Commander Vexnar approached Elena as she waited alone in an antechamber. Captain Reyes, he said, his translator struggling with his guttural language. I have studied your species. So fragile. So divided. Your nations still war with each other while pretending unity to the stars. Elena met his predatory gaze steadily. We have our differences, Commander, but we learn from them. Learn. Vexnar made a sound that might have been laughter. What the Drakari know of humans is this. You are soft. Your bones break easily. Your flesh tears. Your lives are brief sparks compared to the eternal flame of evolved species. Elena smiled slightly. Fire can start from the smallest spark, Commander. Something in her tone made Vexnar pause. For a brief moment, uncertainty crossed his alien features. Before he could respond, Overseer Thalera entered. Captain Rice, your formal recognition ceremony begins shortly. As Elena moved to follow Thalera, Vexnar called after her. We will be watching Earth's development with great interest. 6 months later, the research vessel Curiosity transmitted distress signals from the Kuiper Belt. Captain Leeway's voice remained steady despite the circumstances. The Drakari vessel is conducting what they call standard inspections. They've disabled our propulsion systems and are demanding access to our database, awaiting instructions. In the Earth Security Council chamber, Fleet Admiral Kamala Singh listened grimly. This marked the seventh such incident in 4 months. "Tell them to stand down," President Diaz ordered, and informed the Galactic Confederation again. 2 weeks later, the Confederation's response arrived. "The matter will be investigated as a potential navigational misunderstanding." Misunderstanding. President Diaz slammed his fist on the table. They crippled a clearly marked research vessel. "The Confederation is dominated by species who've never known war as we have," Admiral Singh explained. "They don't understand escalation patterns." When the Europa research station went dark the following month, the attacks could no longer be dismissed. 300 scientists and their families died when Drakari raiders breached the habitat dome. The Confederation classified it as an unfortunate regulatory enforcement action. President Diaz addressed his cabinet solemnly. "Activate Protocol Aegis. It's time to show our hand." The crew of the Curiosity huddled in the command center. Outside their viewports, the massive Drakari vessel loomed, its hull covered with weapons that made no attempt at disguise. 3 smaller craft circled the human ship like predators. "They're scanning us again," reported Science Officer Lin, her eyes fixed on the display. "More aggressive this time. They're trying to break through our database encryption." Captain Lee paced the small bridge. The Curiosity was a research vessel, not built for confrontation. Its small crew of 14 had been mapping the outer system when the Drakari intercepted them. "Engineering status," Lai called through the comm. "Critical, Captain," came the reply from Engineer Rodriguez. "They used some kind of targeted EMP. Propulsion is completely offline. Life support still working, but we're not going anywhere." The main screen flickered, and a Drakari face appeared. Unlike Commander Vexnar from the Confederation, this one had battle scars across its scaled face. "Human vessel." The translator rendered its harsh speech. "Your presence in this sector violates Drakari security protocols. Surrender your database, or we will extract it." Lai stood straight. "This is Captain Lai of the Earth vessel Curiosity. We are in recognized human space conducting peaceful research. Your actions constitute piracy under galactic law." The Drakari made the sound humans had learned was laughter. "Laws apply to equals, human, not to insects." The transmission cut off. Minutes later, they felt the ship shudder as docking procedures began. Back on Earth, Admiral Singh ended the emergency transmission and faced the Security Council. 8 grim faces looked back at her. "This is a clear escalation," said Defense Minister Okoye. "They're not just harassing now. They're attempting data theft." Admiral Singh nodded. "Captain Lai is following protocol. Minimum resistance, maximum delay. We've dispatched the UES Defender to their position." "Will it get there in time?" President Diaz asked. "Yes," Singh said, "but only because we expected this." The Defender was already stationed nearby, hidden behind one of Neptune's moons. Foreign Minister Nakamura shook his head. "The Confederation will do nothing. They've dismissed every incident so far." "Then perhaps it's time to stop relying on the Confederation," suggested Intelligence Director Alvarez. She activated a holographic display showing a series of classified military installations throughout the solar system. Protocol Aegis has advanced faster than expected. 2 days later, the UES Defender returned to Earth orbit with the Curiosity in tow. Captain Lee's report was troubling. The Drakari had attempted to force their way into the ship but retreated when the Defender appeared. Before leaving, they transmitted a message. "This is not over." Earth's formal complaint to the Galactic Confederation included sensor logs, communication records, and visual evidence. The response took 2 weeks and was dismissive. The matter will be investigated as a potential navigational misunderstanding. But the Drakari didn't wait for any investigation. 3 warships entered orbit around Europa, home to Earth's largest off-world scientific community. "Evacuate them," ordered President Diaz. "We've already begun preparations," Admiral Singh replied. "But it will take time. The Europa facility has over 3,000 staff and family members." They didn't get that time. 24 hours later, emergency signals blared in the command center. The Europa research station had gone dark. 342 dead, children among them. At the emergency Confederation session, Captain Alina Reyes stood alone before the assembled delegates. She was no longer the diplomatic officer who had first entered these halls with hope. Her eyes burned with controlled fury as she presented the evidence. The shattered domes of Europa Station, the bodies floating in the void, the medical teams performing emergency procedures in depressurized corridors. The Confederation's protection has proven meaningless, she stated, her voice unwavering. Earth withdraws from these proceedings until justice is served. We will address this matter ourselves. A murmur ran through the assembled delegates. Such an action was unprecedented. Commander Vexnar's harsh laughter echoed through the chamber. What can primitive humans possibly do against the might of the Drakari? Your species will learn its proper place in the galaxy, if any survive the lesson. Alina paused at the doorway, but did not turn around. You mistake patience for weakness, Commander. That is a dangerous error. Back on Earth, Admiral Singh stood in the heart of Aegis Command. The massive underground facility had remained secret even from most of Earth's governments until recently. Around her, officers coordinated the deployment of Earth's hidden fleet. On the main screen, tactical displays showed human vessels converging toward Europa from all directions. All ships report ready, Admiral, announced her second-in-command, Captain Rivera. Singh nodded. Open broadcast channels, all frequencies, all translation protocols. She straightened her uniform and faced the camera. The message would be heard not just by the Drakari, but by every species in the Galactic Confederation. To the Drakari hegemony, you have 24 hours to withdraw from all human territories and prepare reparations for your acts of aggression. After that, we will consider ourselves at war. She ended the transmission and turned to Captain Rivera. Status of Europa defense. The remaining Drakari ships are pulling back, ma'am. They seem confused. On the tactical display, the 5 Drakari vessels were indeed retreating to a higher orbit. Their formation was ragged, lacking the precision they had shown during the attack. They're calling for reinforcements, reported Communications Officer Santos. A lot of encrypted traffic heading toward Drakari space. Singh had expected this. How long until their main fleet arrives? Based on known Drakari propulsion capabilities, 48 hours minimum. Perfect. That gives us time to evacuate the remaining colonists and position our forces. In the medical bay of the Europa emergency bunker, Dr. Marianne Chen watched in amazement as Earth ships appeared in orbit. Not the rescue vessels she had expected, but warships. Advanced designs she had never seen before. A young aide rushed in. Doctor, the Drakari are retreating, and there are human military vessels everywhere, hundreds of them. Outside, a massive ship descended toward the damaged colony. Its hull bore the markings of Earth's new unified defense force. Smaller vessels surrounded it, deploying what appeared to be shield generators around the breached domes. Back at Aegis Command, President Diaz joined Admiral Singh. Together, they watched the real-time updates as humanity revealed its true capabilities. They're running, Singh said with grim satisfaction. But they'll be back with everything they have. The President agreed. Can we stand against their full might? Singh pulled up a classified file on her console. The display showed specifications for weapon systems far beyond what Earth had revealed to anyone, even to most of its own citizens. Mr. President, humanity has been preparing for war since we first looked at the stars. The Drakari think they know what we're capable of. They have no idea. As Alina's ship departed Confederation space, she received the first reports of Earth's revelation. The secret was out. Humanity had been hiding its strength all along. Her communicator chimed with an incoming message from one of her few allies on the Council, the Lyrian diplomat who had warned her months ago. Captain Reyes, Selmora said, her skin shifting to a deep purple of concern. What has your species done? The Drakari will never forgive this humiliation. "We never sought this conflict," Alina replied, "but we will end it. The Confederation is in chaos. Some call for sanctions against Earth for concealing military capabilities. Others suggest the Drakari deserve this check to their aggression." Alina's expression was resolute. "Tell them to watch what happens next. Humanity has been pushed." Commander Vexnar watched with growing concern as his border outposts went silent one by one. "Impossible," he muttered. Their technology was decades behind ours. His aide, Sub-Commander Krell, approached cautiously. "Sir, they're using propulsion systems we've never encountered, and their tactical formations. They're adapting faster than our predictive algorithms can process." The human fleet moved with devastating precision. They disabled rather than destroyed when possible. They evacuated civilian populations before neutralizing military targets. This wasn't primitive warfare. It was methodical, ethical, and utterly relentless. After the third Drakari outpost raised surrender signals, Supreme Overlord Drakmor demanded explanations. "How are they defeating our forces? They're physically weaker than any warrior species." General Thax, the Drakari chief strategist, appeared shaken. "I've been studying their history. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. They don't outmuscle prey. They pursue until exhaustion. Their entire civilization reflects this pattern. They don't quit, and they've been fighting each other for millennia, constantly improving." "Then we will make them quit," Drakmor declared, ordering their main fleet to converge on the human advance. Commander Vexnar stood rigid before the massive tactical display in his command center. Red warning signals flashed across the map of Drakari territory. 6 hours ago, he had commanded 23 border outposts. Now only 11 remained operational. "Update from Outpost Vaxer," reported his communications officer. "They are under attack. Human vessels have surrounded the station." Vexnar clenched his four-fingered hand. "Send reinforcements." "Sir, there are no ships available in that sector. All nearby vessels have been disabled or have surrendered." This could not be happening. The humans were primitives. Their ships had been pitiful, their weapons laughable. The attack on their Europa colony should have broken their spirit, shown them their proper place in the galaxy. Instead, it had awakened something terrible. His aide approached with a data tablet. "Sir, they're using technologies we've never encountered. Their ships can accelerate and change direction in ways that defy our understanding of physics and their tactical formations. They're adapting faster than our predictive algorithms can process." Vexnar grabbed the tablet. The footage showed human vessels performing impossible maneuvers. They would attack in perfect formation, then instantly scatter when Drakari defenses fired, only to reform in new patterns seconds later. "How?" he demanded. "When we observed their planet, they were still using primitive ion drives. It appears they concealed their true capabilities, sir." A new alert flashed. Outpost Vaxer had fallen silent. The human approach was unlike anything in Drakari military doctrine. When they attacked an outpost, they first established a perimeter, cutting off all communications. Then they deployed small, agile craft that targeted defense systems with surgical precision. Finally, they would offer the defenders a chance to surrender. Most took it. In the Confederation Emergency Chamber, representatives from 17 species watched live feeds from the conflict. The Drakari ambassador was noticeably absent. "They hid this from us," whispered the Vostran delegate. "All this time." "Can you blame them?" replied Selmora, the Lyrian. "Would you have revealed your true strength to a galaxy that might fear it?" Overseer Thalera struggled to maintain order as panicked voices filled the chamber. Some demanded immediate sanctions against humanity. Others insisted the Confederation intervene to protect the Drakari from complete defeat. "The humans have responded proportionally," Thalera reminded them. "They have targeted only military installations. No civilian casualties have been reported." "Yet," added another voice. The mood in the chamber shifted when Admiral Singh's next transmission was broadcast. Every screen showed the Admiral standing calmly on the bridge of her flagship as Drakari vessels scattered before her fleet. To the Galactic Confederation, we regret the necessity of this conflict. The Drakari left us no choice. We seek neither conquest nor retribution beyond appropriate justice for the lives lost. When the Drakari cease hostilities and acknowledge their crimes, we will end our campaign. Until then, we advise all non-combatants to avoid Drakari military installations. As the transmission ended, the xenopsychologist Raj Patel, now serving as a strategic advisor, leaned toward Captain Elena Reyes. They're beginning to understand us now. Fear is giving way to something else. Respect, Elena asked. Fascination, Raj corrected. They've never seen a species like ours. The Drakari made their final stand at Carvax Prime, their military headquarters. They had gathered their remaining fleet, over 200 warships arrayed in defensive positions around the massive space station. Supreme Overlord Drakmor himself had come to oversee the defense, bringing with him weapons that had not been used in centuries. Admiral Singh studied the tactical display. The Drakari formation was impressive, designed to channel attackers into overlapping fields of fire. Conventional approach would result in significant casualties on both sides, observed Captain Rivera. Singh nodded. Then we won't use conventional approaches. Activate Project Chimera. Throughout the human fleet, ships began to transform. Modular components shifted and reconfigured. What had been destroyers became electronic warfare platforms. Cruisers separated into smaller, faster attack craft. Transport vessels revealed hidden weapon systems. The Drakari defenders watched in disbelief as the human fleet metamorphosed before them. Their carefully planned defensive grid now faced an entirely different attack force than the one they had prepared for. Impossible, whispered Supreme Overlord Drakmor as he watched the transformation. No species has ever mastered reconfigurable warfare. When the attack came, it was swift and surgical. The human forces struck from multiple vectors simultaneously, using the Drakari's own defensive positions against them. Electronic warfare systems disabled command networks. Precision strikes neutralized weapon emplacements. Within hours, the battle was over. The massive Drakari headquarters, believed impregnable for over 1,000 years, surrendered without Admiral Singh needing to deploy her most devastating weapons. In the aftermath, as human medical teams treated wounded Drakari warriors, Commander Vexnar was brought before Captain Elena Reyes. The once proud commander seemed diminished, his scales dulled with the shame of defeat. "You could have destroyed us," he said, genuine confusion in his voice. "Why didn't you?" "That was never our intention," Elena replied. "We wanted only to be left in peace. But you concealed your strength. You appeared weak." "We showed the face we wished to show," Elena explained. "We came to learn, to exchange ideas, to grow. We did not come to intimidate or conquer." "The Drakari would never have shown such restraint," Vexnar admitted. "That is why you lost," Elena said simply. 3 months later, the Earth delegation returned to the Confederation chambers. This time, they were not supplicants but equals. The chamber fell silent as Elena, now appointed as Earth's ambassador, took her place at the council table. Overseer Thalera addressed the assembly. "The Galactic Confederation formally recognizes Earth as a full member. Recent events have clarified humanity's place among the stars." Ambassador Elena Reyes nodded acknowledgement. "Humanity comes in peace and hopes to remain at peace. We bring our curiosity, our creativity, and our unique perspective to this assembly of species." "And your warriors?" asked the new Drakari representative, one who had replaced the disgraced Vexnar. "Those too," Elena admitted, "but only when necessary." As the formal proceedings continued, Selmore approached Elena during a recess. "You've changed the balance of power in the Confederation," the Lyrian observed. "Some fear this change." "And you?" Selmore's skin rippled with colors of thoughtful consideration. "I am intrigued. Humans concealed not just their military strength, but their strategic brilliance. You fought a war unlike any I've witnessed, minimizing casualties, offering mercy, seeking justice not vengeance. You are not the simple, aggressive species the Drakari believed you to be. We are what we need to be, Alina said. We've learned through our own history that strength without wisdom leads to destruction. We'd rather create than destroy, build than break. A lesson the Drakari have now learned at great cost. Selmore noted. Word spread quickly throughout the galaxy. Humanity, the newcomers, the supposed primitives, had defeated one of the Confederation's most feared military powers while displaying restraint that most species found astonishing. Diplomatic envoys from dozens of worlds requested meetings with Earth representatives. Trade proposals flooded in. Cultural exchange programs were hastily organized. And somewhere in the vastness of space, other civilizations watching Earth's emergence noted a simple truth that would echo through interstellar relations for centuries to come. Humans come in peace, but they are not to be provoked. They walk softly through the cosmos, but carry capabilities that belie their peaceful demeanor. It was a lesson the galaxy would not soon forget, and one that ensured humanity's peaceful integration into the greater community of stars.